The input system in Unity is such an amazing tool. In this video, I intend to make it easy for you to understand how the input system works. My name is Anand and this is Dev, and we just want to help people along their game dev journey. This video is going to be the beginning of a series about the input system in Unity. This is going to be a theory video on the input system, and in the next video, we are going to learn how to install it. And in the later videos, we'll learn how to use it. I'll be honest, I'm not an expert at this. I'm still learning this for myself, but I'll try to explain it with the best of my ability. But in case I'm wrong, I might need your help with it. Once again, this is a what is type of video and not a how to type of video. So what is the input system? It is firstly a package that Unity released to help us easily create controls for multiple platforms for our games. I'll have links in the description for you to read and learn more about it. But in a nutshell, the input system creates a well-structured and a flexible method to grab, use, and modify input in our game. And this can be made possible through messages and events. When you play the game, events are generated and they can be listened into and you can execute code off of them. If you have no idea what I just said, do not worry about it. It's better to learn it as you go and one day you may understand it better. Messages and events are simply ways in which components or the classes that you can add in the inspector communicate without directly referencing one another. So in a way, it's like a wireless connection between two classes. Back to the input system, why choose it over the getAccess stuff or the input manager? Firstly, it standardizes the way you handle input. This means all input will be handled in a similar way. In the classic input manager, we had different APIs to handle different types of input. For example, the way we handle touch in a mobile device is different from the way we handle an input from the keyboard. The input system makes sure that all input is binded the same way. The second reason why we choose the input system is because it creates an efficient system even across different platforms. Now what does that mean? In order to understand that, you need to know about input actions. Now, input actions are simply general actions that you perform in a video game, like jump, move, drive, and shoot. Now, the best thing about these actions are that it doesn't care where the input is coming from. Let me explain it with an example. So, Dev here likes eating ice cream. So, the action he performs is eating an ice cream. Note here that the action performed is not an input action. But he doesn't care from where and how he got the ice cream from. He does not mind if you bought it from a bakery. He does not mind if you made it for him yourselves. But all he cares about is that if you give him an ice cream, he will eat it, just like input actions and the rest of humanity. All it does is it cares about performing code that we write, and it doesn't care about the input that actually triggers it. In order to explain this further, we can create a flowchart. So we have our action, which is eating an ice cream, and if the action is triggered, we can execute our code. And then at the bottom, we have an input. But since the action doesn't care about the type of input it receives, we can source multiple types of input to the same action. A realistic example would be movement, where we can have multiple inputs coming from our keyboard, gamepad, or any other input device. This is what I mean by an efficient system. In the classic input manager, the logic depends on the type of input because we execute code if a certain input takes place. In the input system, both input and logic are in a way decoupled or separated, which is efficient. And the final reason for choosing the input system is that it makes it easier to set up and do things. Things like local multiplayer and input rebinding is so easier to do compared to the manager. In the manager, you would have to create a huge custom class for input and rebinding it was a total pain. Fortunately, it became a lot easier with the input system. Also, the input system deals with an asset, a component, and a scripting workflow. We can create something called an input actions asset, which is a collection of different input actions all in a single file. We also have a component called player input that does a lot of hard work for us. We can create methods in our code to do stuff and place them appropriately, and player input will do a lot of stuff for us. With the scripting workflow, you can create input actions and all the remaining stuff directly through code. But how do we do this? So I'll be uploading a video on it soon, so make sure to subscribe and not miss it. If you are watching it late from the future, I will have it here on the top right. So that's about it for the absolute basics of what is the input system, in my opinion. There is so much more you can do with it, and I'll be honest, I haven't learned them all, and I believe it's better that way. I will learn it only if I need it. So if you have something valuable to share, share it in the comments below so that I can pin them. So yeah, see you. Take care. Bye bye.